Have you ever wondered how close we really are to the fulfillment of the most mysterious and unsettling prophecies of the Bible? Today, in an age where technology advances at a speed we can barely comprehend, where morality is redefined with every passing day, and where truth itself seems negotiable, one question echoes louder than ever. Are we already living under the influence of the spirit of the Antichrist? This is not just about a distant prophecy or a future figure. It is about the reality shaping our world right now. In every institution, every screen, and even within our daily lives, signs are unfolding before our eyes. Stay with us until the end of this video, because together we will uncover truths that demand reflection, challenge our understanding, and remind us of the urgency of the times we are living in. So, prepare your heart and mind, because what you are about to hear may forever change the way you see the present and the future. Welcome, dear viewers, to the fascinating journey of Peace Drawn. Today, we will dive into a theme that has intrigued humanity for centuries: the coming of the Antichrist. This is not just a video. It is a deep reflection on the signs of the times and the narratives that shape our understanding of the future. I invite you to watch until the very end, as we will uncover crucial insights about the events that may define our destiny. Together, we will explore prophecies, moral challenges, and the role of the Antichrist in the divine panorama. Prepare yourselves for an enlightening journey, and by the end, I will be grateful for sharing this unique experience with all of you. So, without further delay, let us begin this exploration with Peace Drawn. The actions of the Antichrist in 2026 awaken shock and a palpable sense of urgency that fills the air, clear to all who follow the prophetic timeline of God. The clock is counting down, and the world is undeniably at a critical crossroads. The signs of the times point to a profound shift, calling our hearts to reflect on the urgency of this moment. In today's reality, the very essence of the world is undeniably at a turning point, and the prophetic timeline of God unfolds before our eyes. We must recognize the urgency in our hearts, aligned with the critical times we live in. It is imperative to understand the message. We cannot ignore what the Antichrist will bring in 2026. Though this revelation may sound surprising, even unsettling, it is our duty as believers to approach this subject with open hearts and minds. The dual purpose of our message is to highlight the real presence of the spirit of the Antichrist among us, and to shed light on how this spirit is shaping the stage for potentially shocking events in 2026. We now stand at a crossroads in history, where the tides of darkness and deception are rising. As the clock advances toward what is coming, we turn to the inspired words of the Apostle John, as recorded in 1 John 4:3. Every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming and even now is already in the world. Reflect on the depth of truth contained in this verse. The spirit of the Antichrist is not merely a future threat, it is a present reality, actively at work in our world today. A movement is unfolding across the earth, where the spirit of the Antichrist is manifesting itself in our nations, institutions, television, movies, and even within our local communities. It is essential to understand that the Antichrist is not only a future figure, his spirit is already in operation in the world. Just as believers are filled with the Holy Spirit, there are people genuinely influenced and guided by the spirit of the Antichrist. You do not need to be a theologian to recognize the spirit of the Antichrist taking control of the secular world. The Apostle John, in 1 John 2:18, warns that we are living in the last hour, and that many antichrists have already appeared. This urgency resonates through his words, reminding us to acknowledge the gravity of our current moment and consider it as the last hour. Focusing on the spirit of the Antichrist rather than a single figure is crucial. This perspective allows us to better understand his manifestations in the world around us. We can discern the signs of the times without falling into speculation about the identity of one individual. By observing the rise of lawlessness, moral decay, and deception that characterize our era. What the spirit of the Antichrist will do in 2026 is simply a continuation of what it has been doing since the beginning of this last hour. There will be an acceleration of the rejection of truth and a growing acceptance of darkness. Over the past 15 years, we have already witnessed such acceleration, and this trend will continue in 2026. At its core, the spirit of the Antichrist is against truth, against Jesus Christ, who is the truth and the light. The world is experiencing a shift in the tides, where fewer people accept absolute truth. We now live in a world where darkness is loved, and the acceptance of absurdities is becoming increasingly common. Humanity is being prepared for the worship of a man, conditioned to follow and revere a charismatic leader, or even a number. This conditioning will only intensify in the coming years, including 2026. The Antichrist will not need decades to be revered. Hearts are already being subtly persuaded to place their trust in him. When he arises, the world will already be predisposed to accept him. The same spirit of the Antichrist is present even in many churches today, manifesting in misconduct and immorality within religious environments. Disturbingly, many congregations appear to be energized by this spirit, a truth that is uncomfortable to acknowledge. If the Antichrist were to appear now, he would find fertile ground already prepared by this spirit that is presently active. Some churches would not only welcome him, but would also endorse him, accepting his mark and worshiping him. This occurs because they are already influenced by his spirit, which is paving the way for his manifestation. If the Antichrist were revealed today, there would certainly be those ready to accept him and his mark. Too often, we underestimate the influence and power of the spirit of the Antichrist in our world. This spirit is moving humanity toward the acceptance of the mark of the beast, as described in the book of Revelation. Though we cannot predict the exact form this mark will take, current trends suggest a growing familiarity and acceptance of a system where a mark grants access to goods and services. Such gradual acceptance could make people more willing to compromise their faith and loyalty to Christ in exchange for worldly convenience and gain. The warning in Revelation 13:16-17 speaks clearly. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. Without this mark, no one will be able to buy or sell. What once seemed like a distant prophecy now appears much closer to reality due to rapid technological progress and sweeping social changes in the digital age. Technologies such as fingerprint scans, facial recognition, microchips, and proximity-based communication have already become part of our daily lives. The global push toward a cashless society, alongside the increasing use of digital currencies, contributes to the very infrastructure that could support a system like the one described in Revelation 13. The growing interconnectivity and convergence of global financial systems indicate that the implementation of a universal system, as the prophecy foretells, is closer than ever. We are indeed in the last hour. The unprecedented events of recent years, especially the last 5, have demonstrated the world's capacity to unite around global solutions, while at the same time paving the way for a singular world leader. These events serve as a somber reminder of the timeless relevance of ancient prophecies and the urgent need for vigilance in these transformative times. The spirit of the Antichrist will continue working toward its ultimate goal, leading men and women to accept the man of sin when he appears. The rise of lawlessness and rebellion, as prophesied, highlights the chaotic and defiant nature of this man of lawlessness synonymous with the Antichrist, who opposes divine order and God's law. This spirit grows stronger as societies drift further from godly standards and biblical values. Even now, in modern broadcasts and live streams, prophecies indicate a clear escalation of challenges to absolute moral values and spiritual truth. Moral decay and blatant rebellion against divine order are becoming the preparatory steps for the Antichrist's final manifestation in 2026. The trajectory is evident. As the spirit of the Antichrist gains strength, we can anticipate an escalation of lawlessness worldwide. By corroding moral boundaries, it creates the perfect climate for the Antichrist's rise, exploiting human vulnerabilities and humanity's natural inclination towards sin. In 2026, the trend of abandoning moral and ethical values will intensify, directly challenging the foundations of civil society. The spirit of the Antichrist thrives in an environment where moral relativism makes it easy to rationalize behaviors that contradict God's commandments. We need not wait for some future date to witness the presence of this spirit. It is alive and thriving today. We are witnessing the resurfacing of ancient evils before our very eyes, not as distant stories from the past, but as a present reality. The modern world has become a melting pot of everything that has opposed God throughout history, as if the devil had merged the darkest pages of different eras to create the world we now inhabit. Sin may wear different masks, but its face remains the same, and its intent is ancient. In this digital age, sin is only a click away, easily accessible through mobile devices. The spirit of the Antichrist orchestrates a deliberate effort to numb us, desensitize us, and lead us to accept the unacceptable, laying the groundwork for the man of lawlessness. The devil's plan is to make sin so common, so widespread, that people no longer recognize it as rebellion against a holy God. This spirit is already here, working behind the scenes, shaping cultures, and making the abnormal appear normal. As believers, we must equip ourselves with the full armor of God, strengthen our faith, and shine as beacons of light in the growing darkness. The events of 2026, though uncertain in detail, are undeniably pivotal in the prophetic timeline. We must be diligent, not merely spectators, but active warriors for Christ, standing firm against the deceptive tide. The time to prepare and act is now, for the clock is running out. I sincerely thank each of you who dedicated your time to watch this video by Peace Drawn. I am deeply grateful for your presence and support. If you enjoyed this content and wish to continue exploring more powerful messages, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your subscription is essential for us to continue sharing meaningful and inspiring stories. I also invite you to share this video with friends, family, and on your social networks. Every share helps spread uplifting and thought-provoking messages. If this video touched your heart, please leave a like, as it not only gives us valuable feedback, but also helps this message reach more people. Lastly, we would love to hear from you. Leave a comment sharing your reflections, experiences, or suggestions for future topics. Together, we are building an engaging and inspiring community. Once again, thank you for being part of Peace Drawn. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. See you soon.